What would you say if I told you that you are already your new self, that the work has already been done? One action leads to another, one choice and one decision leads to another, and then you look around and everything that could possibly be different is. We can let go of ourselves little by little by creating and instilling new habits like exercising, like eating healthy, like getting enough sleep. It's stuff that we already know how to do and stuff that we already know we should do. But what if we don't overthink this whole self-improvement thing? And instead, why not consider the idea that this shedding can happen naturally over time, just through the tiniest choices that we make every day, instead of trying to create, almost trying to force this grandiose, new, improved version of ourselves to exist. So to help illustrate this concept, this idea that I had, I visited my favorite neighborhood of New York City, the Lower East Side. And for reference, I used to work in this neighborhood, I used to live in this neighborhood, and if I didn't live in the neighborhood, then I lived really close to it. And I'd say like a little over 3 months ago, I decided to move into my own space, which happened to be really, really far away, or at least it felt like it. And since I moved, I haven't been back. But it still remains my favorite place because it's personally where I started to grow up, where I started to take responsibility for my actions, finally, where I started to grow into myself, where I kind of found myself. And to add on to the magic of it all, I built so many meaningful connections there that I hold so close to me, and I have so many meaningful, fun, vibrant memories as well that I realized are still so visceral. And while those amazing memories are at the forefront of my mind, I couldn't help but ignore how the neighborhood is just turned into almost like a ghost town. Since it's obvious that local businesses, if they aren't already closed, then they're really struggling to keep their doors open. And since the pandemic happened, the neighborhood has really had to evolve and change. And I realized that I had as well. And it wasn't because I was trying to evolve or anything, it just sort of happened. And it took returning to a place that helped mold me to be able to see that, to feel it, and to actually believe it. The feeling is kind of like when you return home from either college or moving out from your family's house and then returning back for the first time. You know that so much has happened since, but it all feels like you never left. But you can feel that you've grown. All of the memories are still there, the smells are the same, and the old habits that you had and your old lifestyles are still lingering. It's not so much about like, oh my god, I've changed. It's like, I just feel different, and the place is the same. I mean, there's always like little changes, but it's amazing how moving to somewhere else can really change a person. But sometimes coming back to your roots to like remember yourself, or like, you know, remember where you came from, and going to places that you had like pivotal moments in your life, it can be really grounding to do that, especially at times like this. So this is my favorite street to live on. This was it. If you needed a tool in all this to kind of gauge your self-growth, then I suggest exactly what I did, going to visit places that are important to you, because they naturally help you gauge that, what has shifted, what has changed. It also helps you comprehend how your values have changed, how your priorities have shifted, and how all of these things make up who you are as a person at your core. Personally, I think that internal shedding is your body's natural way of going towards what is right for you and also going away from what isn't. And it's all without you having to overthink it and without having to force it to happen. It can also illustrate how people grow apart naturally over time, how people can grow out of careers, how people can grow out of old lifestyles and eventually reach a new chapter in their lives. But it's very important to remember though that you cannot grow out of something without growing into something else, and that process can be extremely painful and at the same time really empowering. I know that I am not a master at letting go. It's funny that I'm making videos on things that I know I'm not good at. and I'm highlighting all the things that I'm not good at. But my goal here is to just give a new perspective, not to give answers. My goal is to ask the questions that can lead to your own discovery. I digress. I tend to hold on to things a lot longer than I should because, you know, I'm human too, and pain can be a really scary thing. And human to human, I get it. I get it. I get the struggle. I realized visiting the Lower East Side that I love the nostalgia that isn't sad. It's a type of nostalgia that brings peace and brings inner calm, which is also the same kind that is adamant about looking back in order to move forward, in order to keep progressing, and not to stay in the ideas of the past. You know, moving forward is the key word there. And this is especially relevant as we approach the new year, as we are currently reflecting and setting new goals and reinstating our values and beliefs. Personally, I love looking back to see how far I have come, not to wish that things were the same, but to acknowledge that they happened at all. Because without any of that, I wouldn't be sitting where I am today. I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I wonder if you feel the same looking back on your own life, even just in this last year. So in moving forward in your new skin, in your new self, I challenge you to keep asking yourself every day, does this feel good? Does this feel calm? And if that is true, if that is so, then what is the next right step? And with that mindset, we will all end up exactly where we are supposed to be. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy New Year, and I will see you in my next video. Oh my god.